Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Friends of Elephants. As you all know, this is a period, event that ANCF conducts along with other stakeholders like Gaja Conservation Trust. Friends of Elephants is not an organization, and we don't propose to become one either. We are just an informal group of people coming together with varied expertise, concerned about elephants and other wildlife. We are also a group. We use this as a forum for disseminating knowledge linked to elephants and other wildlife sciences, conservation and welfare through art, culture, literature, movies, talks, and other panel discussions. If you all remember, we used to meet offline on MG Road. There's a small cultural hotspot where we all used to meet. But since the COVID hit, we've been predominantly conducting these events online, easy for participants who are far away to join as well, and who are not even in the country. It's become a very accessible platform when we started going online. So the subscriber, or rather the participant numbers, have also increased. This is the schedule for today. I'll be doing the basic introductions of the speakers and the event itself. We will have a talk about elephant capture and translocation by Dr. Rajesh Kumar, whom I'll be introducing shortly, and which will be followed by a conversation on whether the capture of elephants can be justifiable. So this conversation will be between Dr. Ananda Kumar, who is with the Nature Conservation Foundation, Mysore, and Dr. Rajesh Kumar. The introductions will be done shortly, and followed by a Q&A session, which will be moderated by Siddharth Shetty. So I would request all the participants to type in your questions in the chat box. So we will make a note of the questions, and during the Q&A session, Siddharth will use those questions to ask the participants, not the participants, the speakers, so that you get your answers, and probably we'll make it as a interactive session in the end. So till then, we will have a talk by Dr. Rajesh Kumar, and I'll just give you the introductions. First, I'll start off with my own introduction. I'm a techie. I used to be in the software industry, and the entrepreneurial bug bit me in early 2000, mid 2000, you can say, and I moved into the field of renewable energy. My conservation journey began in early 2000 when I started volunteering with the Forest Department for their wildlife census program. My subject of interest has always been in trying to bring technology to conservation and developing products towards helping people mitigate conflicts, whether it's the forest department or villagers. And I try helping them wherever possible in trying to bring technology for mitigation. I also had the honor of working with ANCF as an honorary conservation technology advisor from 2008 to 2009. And my field of interest has been in studying different elephant habitats and villages bordering the forest where conflicts occur. And during all these decades of visit forest, speaking to people, I've gained a wealth of knowledge by working both with the forest department and also speaking to villagers and visiting areas where which have been raided by crops by the elephants or any other animal, working with scientists to understand their perspective on conflict issues and mitigation methods. So based on all these things, like I said, I've been involved in bringing technology to conservation. This design a few solutions, and one of which was an early warning system that I designed and developed in 2008 and which was deployed. My endeavor continues towards this, and every visit to the forest for me is a new learning. With this, I would like to uh, start off the talk about elephant capture and translocation as a means to mitigate human-elephant conflict. So this will be given by Dr. Rajesh Kumar. A brief introduction to Dr. Rajesh Kumar. He holds a bachelor's degree in veterinary science from Madras Veterinary College and subsequently joined the Tamil Nadu Animal Husbandry Department in the year 2010. He served as a veterinary officer in the Nilgiris biosphere Coimbatore, and presently he is working as the forest veterinarian in Mudumalai Tiger Reserve. Throughout his professional career, he has worked towards ensuring health of livestock and wild animals. He headed the team for immunization of domestic cattle in forest fringe areas of the Nilgiris biosphere and served as full-time veterinarian of Temple Elephants Rejuvenation Camp of Tamil Nadu government for 3 years. He is presently serving as full-time veterinarian of Forest Elephant Camp at Mudumalai Tiger Reserve, where he plays a key role in providing veterinary sciences aimed at treating wild animals, rescue and rehabilitation of animals in distress, radio collaring and translocation programs, and also carrying out necroscopy. So, with this, I would like to invite Dr. Rajesh Kumar to give a talk on the
Good evening, all. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your introduction. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for the introduction. And my talk will be focusing on a veterinarian perspective in capturing, translocating, and radio coloring the elephants. So there may be multiple reasons where the department will give order to capture the elephants that we will discuss with respected Anand sir in the coming sessions. And once the capture order is on, what are the preparations we need to do? That kind of stuff I will discuss in this session. So once the capture is on, the first and foremost thing is establishing the identity of the elephant. Identification of the elephant is very important. There are various methods we use. We have to profile the elephant, all the four side pictures. If it is a tusker, what is the tusk pattern, and its morphological features, its ear vein, the tail pattern, and all. So first and foremost thing is we have to establish the identity of the elephant. We should not land up in capturing some other guy. So first establish the profile of the elephant, establish the identity. Then we have to track the elephant. You have to study the behavior of the elephant. What are the path it is using? What are its rhythm? At what time it is grazing? At what time it is sleeping? And what time it is coming into human habitation or any other place. So we have to analyze and establish the behavior of the elephant. That is a very, very important thing. On the other side also, we have to analyze and establish the health status, whether it is drinking enough water, whether it is taking enough feed, whether it is having any injuries on its body, or it is having any signs of illness, how much dung it is passing. All this kind of indirect assessment will give a holistic view of the overall health status of the elephant. And also, we have to assess the weight of the elephant, because while capturing, we are going to give sedative drugs, anesthetic drugs. Based on body weight only, we will be calculating the dose of the drug. So there are various indirect methods to estimate the weight of the elephant. Like we will measure the circumference of the 4-foot mark. So we will multiply it into 2. It will give the height. Based on that, there are various formulas which will give the approximate or estimated weight of the elephant. So once we make sure that the elephant is healthy and we estimated its weight and we estimated its behavior pattern, we have to choose the time and place where we are going to dot it and capture it. So the place is, while considering the place where we are going to execute our operation, the following things we have to keep it in mind. There should not be any water holes in that area, at least around 500 meters in that area, because once we give the sedative injection, the thermoregulation of the elephant's body will be compromised. Most of the time, it will feel more heated up, so it will move towards the water source. And once it enters the water source and the sedation sets in, it may not be able to lift its trunk. If it is a case of standing sedation, sometimes we used to give knockdown sedation, the animal will fall down. So if it fall down inside the water hole, the respiration will be arrested because the trunk will be submerged in the water. So it will end up in a negative consequence for the elephant. So there should not be any water hole in the nearby area, one thing. And if we are planning to translocate the elephant, there should be accessibility for the elephant truck to come. So that thing is also there. And also another thing is there should not be any human habitation nearby area, because once the elephant behave roguely after getting the dot, there may be possibilities for the people around getting injured or public coming in between into the operation. That possibility is also there. So the choosing the place is all these factors we have to keep in mind while choosing the place for the execution. Then the time. So time, it should not be dark, and also it should not be the hotter part of the day. Even there may be, it may be a winter or summer. Based on that, we have to plan the time. Most apt time, I would say, is dotting the elephant early morning, because we will have a more daylight to execute our operation. Or sometimes late evening also will be good, but we should be prepared for the operation. If it prolonged to up to the night time, we have to set up all the lights or other kind of stuffs. So it's always cooler part of the day is good, and if you have more light after dotting, it will be good. So these things you have to keep in mind while planning the time. So once everything is set, there will be various teams we need to form during the operation. The first team is the tracking team, which will track the movement of the elephant. The next team is the dotting team, who will be along with the track team, or they will be stationed at a place where they're going to execute the dot. Then the veterinary team, with all necessary medications and the manpower to deal with any kind of emergencies. Then we will have a roping team. They will be ready with ropes. Once the elephant is dotted and it is sedated, the roping team has to come in and rope the elephant and restrain the elephant before it comes out of the sedation. That is a very golden hour, so that we can avoid the repeatedly sedating the elephant. Then another team is the crowd control team. That is very, very, very important. Then the transport team, the truck team, the truck is also should be ready. Once the elephant is dotted, everything has to work synchronously. The roping team has to go to the elephant. Once it is sedated, they have to rope. Meanwhile, the transport team with the transport truck should arrive at the designated place. And also another thing is the kumki team. It's always better to have kumki elephants in our capture operation. That will be very, very useful, because with the help of kumkis, we can easily approach the sedated elephant and safely also. And the wild elephant also will feel comfort when its fellow beings are on its side. So it is always better, wherever possible, we should have a kumki team. So the kumki should be stationed in the nearby area of the operation area, so that they can be easily mobilized once the elephant is dotted. So the dotting is a very, very important thing. So the dotting should be done, in my opinion, in such a way that the elephant should not know that some human beings are targeting it, or someone is following it and they are shooting towards us. We should do it in such a way that the elephant should not know we people are behind him. We can execute it in standing in a hideouts and baiting the elephant with some attractive fruits or any other food materials, so that the elephant will come and stand the desired location where we want to dot, and we will be sitting in the hideout. And once the elephant comes there and smells or started eating that food, we can dot it. So this is easy to say, but we have to plan it and execute it. The why I am saying is, if the elephant feels that the humans are chasing him or behind him, he always feel more alert. So the purpose of giving sedative or dotting is to calm down the elephant. So when the elephant is calm and we give the dot, the sedation will sets in with optimal dose. No need for going for a high amount of medicines. So during dotting, the animal should be calm. It should not be excited. Sometimes if the crowd is there, they became violent, they will shout, the animal became excited. Then if you give the dot, the sedation may not set immediately. It will take more time for sedation to set, or sometimes the animal may go without sedation also. So the calm atmosphere should prevail there. We can wait for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, or even week until we get a calm and natural environment. We can wait. no need to hurry in executing our operations. So once we dot it, there are two type of sedatives. One is the standing sedative, which we use in Tamil Nadu mostly, especially in the Nilgiri landscape, because there are more of undulating terrain. So we use that thing. In Karnataka, they use, I think, knockdown sedation. They use morphine derivatives, etorphine kind of stuffs. So they have a plain surface, coffee estate and all. So they are using a knockdown sedative. The difference between two is, in standing sedation, the animal won't fall down when it is sedated. Whereas in knockdown sedation, the animal will fall down. So that is the difference. So since we have more undulating terrain, our capture operations are in somewhat a hill-oriented area, we used to go for standing sedation. We use combination of xylazine, ketamine, and some other medicines wherever necessary. So once dotted, just forget the elephant for some 10 to 15 minutes. Let him settle. Don't go behind him, put light or make sound, any kind of thing. Within 15 minutes, if the optimum dose is entered the elephant will get sedated. And after that, we have to quietly approach and make sure that the elephant is sedated. Like we can go and make a sound or throw a stone near it. If there is no reaction, then we will go near it and we will get the kumkis and rope all the four legs. And with the help of kumkis, we will rope the neck also. So normally the sedation effect will have up to 45 minutes. So within that 45 minutes, we have to do all those things. And one more important thing is we have to cover the eye of the elephant. And also we have to plug the ears with some cotton kind of stuff. The reason is we have to cut all the external stimulus to the elephant so that the elephant will be in a deep sedation. So cover the eyes, plug the ears with cotton or something, and rope the elephant. We have to do it very fastly so that there is no need for giving another sort of sedative. So once the elephant is secured, we want to radio color it. The radio color team should be there. They should be ready so that the radio color operation should be carried out simultaneously after roping. Because sometimes what happens now, we will go sedate the elephant, rope the elephant, everything will be done. Then after that, the radio color team may come. Then again, the elephant may come out of the sedation. Again, we need to give another sort of top-ups. So these things can be avoided. So always giving anesthesia, giving sedation is a highly risky process. Not only animals, in human also. That too, for in elephants, we don't know its physiological status. If humans go for a surgery, they are going to give anesthesia. They will take blood test, they will take ECG, they will measure the blood pressures. All those things they will take up. If any problem is there, they will give us tablet and all those things. Once we are stabilized, then only they will go for the anesthetic procedure. Whereas in wild animals, we don't have chance for all these things. We can't go and collect the blood. We don't know their blood parameters. We don't know our hemoglobins levels, and also their cardiac function, liver function. Nothing we know. Only based on the external observation, we presume that the animal is healthy, and then we are going for the anesthetic operation. So in that case, we should keep the amount of anesthetic medicines used at the least. For that, a calm environment and making use of that 30 to 45 minutes immediately after sedation. We have to make use of that crucial time to execute all the operations we need to done, like radio coloring, loading in the track, everything. So that crucial hours we should not miss. So once the elephant is roped, radio colored, it need to be loaded into the truck. So in Tamil Nadu, we use, wherever we have kumkis, we make a platform such that the elephant carrying truck will leveled against the ground, and the elephant will be pushed into the truck with the help of the kumkis. Sometimes the truck may not come near to the elephant. In that case, with the help of kumkis, we have to drive the elephant gently towards that area where the truck can come, and we have to load it. In some other places where kumkis are not available, they use cranes with belt, and they will lift it and put it in the transport truck. So once it is loaded in the truck, whether we are going to translocate it or we are going to take it to captivity, it will be decided previously, and the route which we have to take, that also should be checked prior to the commencement of the operations. What are the electrical lines are there? If there is any electrical lines, we have to take care of it. We have to keep in coordination with the revenue departments, local police, and the EP departments. So there should be hassle-free run for the truck. So there should be a pilot vehicle leading the elephant truck, and the veterinary vehicle should be behind that elephant truck, monitoring the health status of the elephant. And so they have to navigate without any hindrance. So the electricity people will be asked to switch off the line wherever the truck is going, so that to avoid the possibilities of any electrocution. And also the revenue department and police department will be asked to clear the crowds along the road and the traffic and all, so that the elephant truck will have a smooth ride. So and on the way, if possible, it is always good to have a weigh bridge on the way and weigh the elephant, because we gave the drug based on estimated weight only. If we weigh in the weigh bridge, we will get the actual weight. In that way, the veterinary team will be more prepared to deal with any kind of emergencies, because any medicines we give, it is mostly based on the the body weight only. So if suppose we are transporting the elephant during the hotter part of the day, we should be prepared to cool down the elephant. On the way, wherever there is a secured campus is there, we can take the elephant there and we will spray the water over there. And then again, we will start our journey. So if the translocation takes a long time, like more than 6 hours, then again, there is definitely a need for cool down the elephant on the way, so that the body temperature is maintained at a normal level. And then we will continue our journey. And the speed of the vehicle also should not be more than 40 km/h. So that are all very, very crucial factors. Though it seems that what will happen with the speed and all, the thing is not like that. Even the small thing will make a huge difference. So we should give importance to all those things. So once we transport it, if we are going to take it to captivity, there everything should be arranged ready. Whether we are going to put it in the kraal should be ready. And all the other infrastructures and logistics needed for taking care of the elephant after putting in the kraal, everything should be ready. Suppose if we are going to translocate the elephant, we should make sure that the elephant come out of sedation before releasing back into the wild. If needed, we may need to give the reversal drugs before leaving it, releasing the elephant. If there are any injuries, we should attend to that, like cleaning. If there are any wounds, we have to clean it and apply fly repellents. If we find the elephant weak or kind of any stuff, we need to give some vitamin injections, painkillers, and stress modulator drugs before releasing it, and we will release the elephant. Once it is released, if it is radio colored, it will be always easy to track it. Sometimes we release the elephant without radio coloring also. So after releasing, it is our duty to monitor the elephant, both its movement and its physiological status and health. So at least for a week, we should observe it. If it is feeding good, taking water, passing urine and defecation, then the health status is it's okay. Then only we can stop the veterinary involvement in that operation. Then the monitoring operations, its behavior, other things will go on. So this is in short, I want to share about elephant captures and translocation in a veterinarian perspective. Any doubts, we can discuss at the question and answer session. Thank you.
Srinivas, can we continue?
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Dr. Rajesh. So we will go to the next part of the discussion, which is the conversation that we would like to have with Dr. Anand Kumar. and Dr. Rajesh Kumar. So the topic of this is going to be can capture be justifiable, which is it justified to capture a elephant and relocate it to another area? Because if it is found in if it's creating problem in one area, is it a feasible thing, or is it the right thing to capture it, dart it, tranquilize it, capture it, and relocate it to another area? Are you moving the problem from one area to the other area, or uh, are you what is it that you're trying to do? So this is probably going to be the topic of conversation, and I would like to throw the floor open to Dr. Anand Kumar and Dr. Rajesh.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Srinivas, for this. And I also thank everybody here for inviting me to be part of this discussion. See, there are a couple of things that Dr. Rajesh Kumar has actually pointed out. Dr. Rajesh, I'm so thankful that you have actually explained the kind of procedure a group of people led by a doctor, veterinary doctor, should follow. And see, often I'm really surprised that will there be that much of time to follow the entire procedure? See, elephants have become one species. That species has been bombarded by every section of the society. Is the government, scientific community, people, conservationists, everybody. Okay, media, everybody is bombarding that one particular species, which we are trying to save, the particular species. Yeah, and as a national heritage animal. And you have actually indicated in the beginning that we really need to identify the individual, um, track that particular individual, whether the particular individual is responsible for a threat to human beings. Because as per the law, it says that the Wildlife Protection Act says that Section 11A indicates if an animal is seen as a potential threat to people, Chief Wildlife Warden has the authority to issue an order. Okay. Yeah. So, but for particular, and how do you assess that threat? At any given point of time that when, how do you come up with this? How to identify an individual which is involved in which is threatening the lives and livelihoods of people? As a doctor, that you may have to take a decision and also in discussion with the forest department officials. So I'm just wondering, how do you decide, Dr. Rajesh?
Yes, sir. So it's a very,
Sir, Srinivas here. Before we continue with this, I would like to quickly introduce Dr. Anand to everybody. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it visible as a PPT?
But we still don't have the introduction slide to Dr. Ananda Kumar. We are in that conversation slide.
1 second, please. I think there's some technical issue. Is it visible now?
No, it's still only that slide which says can captures be justified.
Same slide, yeah.
1 second, sir. 1 second. I'm just sharing that. Yeah, is it visible now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Dr. Anand Kumar, thank you for joining us, and I would like to introduce you to all our participants. Dr. Anand Kumar is a senior scientist with the Nature Conservation Foundation, Mysore, and he has studied the ecological and behavioral aspects of Asian elephants and their interactions with people in the Annamalai Hills of Tamil Nadu in southern India as part of his doctoral work at the University of Mysore. Dr. Kumar has been involved in the conservation of Asian elephants in human-dominated landscapes for nearly 2 decades. He has published his work in peer-reviewed national and international scientific journals, book chapters and technical reports, and has given talks at various scientific and non-scientific forums. Dr. Kumar has also worked with a team of dedicated conservation biologists over a decade to mitigate human-elephant conflict with the involvement of stakeholders and adopting innovative approaches to promote coexistence between people and elephants. He has been the recipient of the Carl Zeiss Wildlife Conservation Award in 2012 at New Delhi, the Whitley Fund for Nature, which is called as the Green Oscar Award in 2015 from the United Kingdom, and the Vasundhara Satkar Award in 2016 Pune. Welcome to the forum, Dr. Anand.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your kindness, Srinivas. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Just I will answer Ananda Kumar sir's question. So I would take two questions from sir's thing. One thing is whether the team have enough time to carry out a plan and execute the whole operations which I briefed before. Another thing is how we tag the elephant as a problematic elephant or conflict elephant and we go for a capture. So first I will answer the second one. So, sir, in my opinion, the elephants don't have any personal vengeance with humans. They are leading their life. We are only going and crossing their line. That thing, first we have to understand. We have to keep it in mind, that thing. Then only we have to proceed with any capture operations. One thing. So the next thing is, again, coming to the behavior of the elephant. So there may be human casualties might have happened, or some property damage or crop damage. These are the things where the elephant is tagged and bound to be captured or translocated. So we have to see whether a human casualty happens, means whether it is accidental. So sometimes the elephant will be navigating to a narrow path. Accidentally, we humans will go in a close quarter. There is a safe zone where the elephants will move away from the humans if they sense the humans. Or sometimes if the humans are very close, in defense, they will just say, "Hey man, don't come near me." With a gentle push with the trunk, that will be enough to cause casualty, because these big giants, they weigh minimum 3,000 kgs, an adult Asian elephants. We are just 50 to 90 kgs. Just don't come near. Just or telling a hi with its trunk will fracture our ribs, our skull, everything, and the things happen. So that thing we have to analyze. Whereas some elephants, they will develop a habit. They lost the fear for humans. They resist all kind of negative conditioning we are giving. Those elephants will, without any fear, regularly they will come. One of the example we faced is one Makna. It regularly will come, and during night time, especially after 12 midnight up to morning, will be very active. Other time, he will be grazing inside the forest, like a very cool and calm guy. Once it's 12 o'clock or 11, 12, it's dark, he will come toward the human habitation. He will bulldoze the walls and he will look for rice, pulses or any kind of thing. This thing happened almost for 3 years. Irrespective of the all kind of efforts the department took, all kind of negative conditioning we gave. And accidentally, unfortunately, during these kind of incidents, 2 casualties happened. So there is no way that we are able to change his behavior or stop this kind of encounters. This case deserves to be captured. So this is, at this point of time, the government took a right decision, I would say. They gave the translocation order. We translocated it. We captured it, translocated it, and we executed the operation exactly the way I discussed before. We formed small teams. It's not kind of a knee-jerk reaction. Oh, they give the order, the public are protesting. We have to pump in some 100 individuals, 200 personals, more team of doctors, go and capture it in a single day. It's not like that. We just formed a team, just with consist of some 20 to 24 members. It has been divided. We are silently monitoring the elephant. We are almost waiting for about 24 days so that he will come to the safe and secure place where it is safe for the humans, where it is safe for him. And we made hideouts on the treetops. Only 2 veterinarians are there. So on the day, fortunately, unfortunately, DFOs, field director, everyone were sitting in the meeting in Chennai. So we got the opportunity. We informed them over phone message. Only range officer and ACF were there, and we executed the operation very, very nicely. With a single sort of tranquilizer, we are able to secure the animal. With the help of Kumkis, we are able to radio color him. We almost took him for about 1 kilometer because it happened in Gudalur. I think Sar knows Valpare and Gudalur are more or less the same landscape where the terrain is undulating. The vehicle, transport vehicle, elephant truck can't go all the places. So he was standing in a slope, gentle slope only. And we have to make way with the earth movers, and we drag him with the help of Kumkis, and we loaded him, and we translocated him. So that is the thing. So coming to the tagging the elephant, it is the behavior. We should be very, very careful whether it is accidental, whether it can be preventable or alterable. When it goes, it is unalterable. He lost fear for humans, keep repeatedly coming for negative encounters. Then only we will take a call that we can go for capture or translocation. And also, in my opinion, sir, it is always better for elephant, for department, for common man, common public to manage a conflict elephant in his same own home range. Translocating him will give a lot of stress on the animal, on the department, on the people where it is translocated, for everyone, because the place is new. He behave more erratically because he don't know that place, where to go, where to come. He don't know. And also it would be tough for the tracking team also to track. As I said, if it is in his home range, if we follow them closely, we will know where he is coming, in which part of year he will come to which place, in which part of day he will come, where he will go for water, where he will go for sleep. Everything we can establish, I am sure. If we follow him at least for a year or 6 months, we will be able to establish his behavior very keenly. Based on that, we will strategize our negative conditioning kind of stuff. Whereas if once he is translocated, he is on a new land, we are also don't know where he will go, where he will come. Everything will be in a chaos. It's what my opinion, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, it's a lovely that you have brought it up. You know, if animal is seen as a threatening the lives and livelihoods of people repeatedly, department decides to capture that particular individual. But you brought it up one point is that we have to really establish whether there's a death that happened intentionally or accidentally. That's what it meant. So you looking at the data, what is present there, where in Valparai or Coimbatore or any other place, even including Hassan, most of the deaths, the people lost their lives or accidental or surprise encounters, as we exactly explained to that. Yeah. But I know there's a lot of commotion, a lot of pressure on the department to capture a particular individual because somebody lost life. And nobody has actually has the time to look at the circumstances of death, under what circumstances the person has lost life. Yeah. So giving that, if we don't keep that window in our analysis or in our judgment to pass on whether to capture a particular individual or not, then we are going to do the error. Okay, there is no point. It's, in my opinion, it's not a great thing to capture an individual. Okay, yeah, suggesting that because people are already demanding. So capture individual is going to solve the issue. Because after capturing, because from your experience, that after capturing that particular individual, has there been any reduction in the conflict incidents?
No, sir. Either some other individual will take over it, or some more individual will take over it. The problem will increase.
Correct. Yes, exactly. And I was just thinking about, if you look at the home ranges of herds and males, males would require about 700 to 800 square kilometers of the area. That is very clearly established from the studies conducted in Mudumalai or in the Karnataka, Bandipur, or Nagarola, in those regions. And herd requires 1050 square kilometers of the area. But if you look at our national parks, whether Nagarola National Park or Annamalai Tiger Reserve, which is 950 square kilometers, 958 square kilometers, which is sufficient for 1.5 male in that case. Yeah, so keeping that home range of a male at a skirt, okay, a male incident. So obviously that elephants have to go through these human dominated areas, human use areas thing. Yeah, but I can understand that if elephant is seen in cities like Coimbatore, right in the middle of Coimbatore, or in the in Bangalore city or Chennai, in Bangalore city, from Banerghat, it has to be captured. But in your experience, that do you really see that capture of an elephant from a contiguous population is going to work it out in terms of conflict reduction?
Yes, sir.
Because I understand that in Tiruvannamalai, that the 6 elephants were captured, 3 were taken to Mudumalai, 3 were brought to Annamalais, and because it's an isolated population in Tiruvannamalai, that's where I think the capture may have worked. But looking at most of the populations what we have in South India are contiguous populations. If you try to remove individuals, there are other individuals occupying that place. That's what we are seeing. Okay. And what do you think, doctor?
Yes, sir. As sir said, if it is an isolated population, if they are accidentally straying into a new area, definitely the capture will work, sir. No doubt that is the only option I would say. Whereas in case of a contiguous operation, in only one case, our capture will solve the problem. As I said, if the elephant is turned totally erratic, regularly he is coming, irrespective of the negative conditioning we are giving. He is coming out of the landscape during odd hours of the day and keep on repeatedly raiding the, especially the human habitations like ration shops or households. In that case, the capture will solve the issue. Whereas other cases, if it is a contiguous population, just because he is coming in the human habitations, crossing the area, and as 1 or 2 accidental encounters happened, if we are going to capture those individuals, again the problem will be there, because again that same path will be used by some other individuals or some more individuals. This guy might be a dominant one who is keeping away the other elephants. Once this super dominance is removed, there may be 3 or 4 individuals come and create more problem also. So it may negatively backfire also.
It's absolutely. I mean, I'm so glad that you brought it up this, because once you remove, because since we have very scanty information about how relationships are actually there among individuals. When you remove one dominant individual, I mean, usually the captures aim at the big individual, huge individual. He may have a lot of connections with the other males. What we are actually seeing in other place called in Hassan, where we are working, when we looked at the capture thing, till the day of capture, we are dealing with one individual. But the moment you remove that particular individual from that network, we started seeing more number of 2 to 3 individuals per on average that we are seeing it. So which means that these new individuals are actually, they don't know the place, they have not experienced, they may be there in the surrounding areas. It just because the vacuum creates that lots of other individuals may come. Other individuals may come. So they may be all the time running and agitated, and that may lead to complicate the matter, the conflict issue. So I'm really glad that you brought it up, this issue that, if you try to remove. So how do you address this? Because if there is a lot of public pressure, and I understand that veterinary doctors will actually undergo tremendous amount of pressure, and particularly when they are sitting on a kunki and trying to dot that animal because there's an order that has come from top. And as a government employee of the department, you have to follow that order at any given point of time that, hey, this is not the one that which I personally, as a veterinary doctor, not as an employee of the government, have you ever felt that this capture should not have happened? But I'm doing it. But, for me, it is wrong. Is there something like that happened to you as a person? As a person? I'm asking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It happened most of the time. So, I joined in Mudumalai Tiger Reserve's full-time veteran in 2020, and we got capture order for one elephant in Gudalur. He's a tusker. Unfortunately, that was state assembly election year in Tamil Nadu. So we started tracking that elephant, and frankly speaking, we don't have any intention to capture it. Just because of the public pressure, the chief life warden, he is also under pressure from the politicians. So he gave the capture order so that we will have a breathing time or something like that. So actually, that same elephant was given capture order 4 years back. Again, that is also an election year. So he escaped that time. Or I don't know, my great seniors made him to escape that time. I think they have did a good job, but I am unable to do that. And again, second time he got the capture order. We were tracking him, and he crossed the Tamil Nadu border to Kerala border. He is operating between the two borders. So he said that he went to Kerala. So now we will shut down the operation for some time. Again, there is pressure from the politicians. No, you have to go to Kerala. You have to go and capture the elephant, kind of stuff. Because of their pressure, they put a team, and in that they asked me to go to Kerala to see where he is, whether it is he is in a conducive terrain to capture. If it is there, you just let us know. We will talk to the Kerala counterparts. We will capture the elephant there itself, and we will take it. Then I went to Kerala. Fortunately, he is in a very tough terrain to capture. There is a river. I don't know. I forget that river. That Valikadavu area, that full of boulders, thing and all. He crossed that river. So there is no access to cross the river. He is across the river. Even if we dart it, we have to drag him out of the river. It is literally impossible. So scientifically, true to my heart, I gave the opinion that, sir, now he is in a place where it is not conducive for capture. But unfortunately, after 2 months, in the month of February, he returned back to Tamil Nadu, Gudalur area. Immediately, these press people took photos and said they named the elephant. The one point I want to stress is, I always hate naming the elephant. Once they are named, they are finished. That I would say. The people will easily keep on writing something in online and press everything. They will target the elephant. So I always hate the elephant being named. So I never use any name for the elephant. So that guy again came back to Tamil Nadu. Again, these press people took the photographs. Again, the pressure is on. And unfortunately, on a single day, the opposition party councillor, elected representative, and his son was knocked down by this elephant. Again, this is accidental, purely accidental. That boy, he went along the path of the elephant during evening time, around 5:30, I would say. He is wearing a headphone. He is listening the song and walking on that path in between the tea estates. So the elephant came, and they both went close, and he just thrashed him with his trunk. He is gone. The elephant is standing in that, roaming in that area only, and his father, he went in search of him. So he is also got thrashed by that elephant. So you can feel how much the political heat will be there. They started blocking the road. They started filing police complaints that our life is not safe. These people is not taking and all. Then again, we are forced to start the operation. After 3 or 4 days, we captured him and put him in the captivity. You won't believe that. Now he is the most gentle elephant in the camp. He's just like a child. Even some of the elephants which are born in the camp, which are rescued as orphan calves and raised in the camp, they are very notorious. Me being a veterinarian, I can't go near them or crawl under them, kind of stuff. Whereas this guy, within 1 year, he is transformed into such a child that I can go hug him, I can sleep. Even I can go and sleep under him. Such a calm behavior he is doing. And after capturing him, 2 elephants, 2 tuskers came to that area. again they started creating the same issues. It's a positive thing that the department learned this science behind this. The capturing will not be a solution, and they started strengthening the patrolling team. They pumped in more funds. They purchased more vehicles. They purchased a lot of this fox lights, all other kind of this negative conditioning systems, artificial intelligence technologies. Now after that, there is no capture in Gullur in the past 3 years, I would say. Though there are human deaths still happening, but there is no capture so far.
Yep.
Because the department is able to establish themselves what is happening, what is the efforts the department is putting. Now the thing is on the right track, I would say. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's a really wonderful. I mean, thank you so much, because there's a classic a paper that got published in PLOS ONE journal by Dr. Prithviraj Fernando and his team from Sri Lanka. They actually tracked the translocated elephants. And they went back. So some of them went back, and some of them landed up in some other place, and the conflict has actually increased disproportionately. Okay. And often that we don't really pay much attention to the release site, because wherever we go, that there are people living there, their livelihoods are there, and this thing. So it becomes an unethical to not having an idea of what kind of the release site. Okay, looking at the Arikomban, for example, that he was captured in Kerala and released in Periyar Tiger Reserve, but he landed up in Mudumalai, and from there he went into the village. But I don't know whether you have seen this video of that. And even though he was walking through the middle of the town, and there's one old lady which was very close to it, and this elephant didn't even touch her. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And he was all the time looking for some place to move out of that particular town. And which is really astonishing, the way which they actually think and estimate the danger, or he is not in that place, it is not his place, kind of thing. So he tried to move away. Okay. Yeah. So what I personally feel is that before we even think of capture, which is not a great thing to suggest in my view, because anybody can suggest the capture thing, but as a department person, as a person working on in the scientific community, or as a doctor, we really need to have some kind of justification to our own selves, our own consciousness, whether it's a really right thing to do or not. And because Valpara in the last 3 years, this is the 4th year, 0 deaths. Okay. Even though this place has 75,000 people and 120 to 140 elephants using this landscape completely packed in 200 square kilometers of the area. And this is the 4th year, no human death that happened, nobody is injured. So all these things will actually tell us that we really need to act before the incident happens, rather than reacting after the incident happened. So I would say that capture is it's a reaction to a particular incident. So I think I would appreciate your frank opinion on this, Doctor.
Yes. It's true that, and one more thing we face now, sir. Even the forest department peoples, they also want to capture and take the elephant. They feel that their issues will be solved. They will put pressure on the veterinarian also. They want to do it very quickly. Sir, the elephant is here, dot it like that. They will do. They don't know they are not understanding the safety of that elephant. That procedures we need to follow, the kind of stuff. So in that way also we will be on the receiving end. On the other side, publics, they will come, oh doctor, you are coming daily with the gun, but you are not capturing, like that. And another from online media also, the doctor is not capable of capturing the elephant, no experience, or kind of stuff. That one thing also will come. In spite of all those things, what I personally feel as a veterinarian is, once the elephant is targeted, it is only on the field, only the veterinarian who will think about the welfare, safety, and care for the elephant. Whereas for all other people's, only thing is they want to remove the elephant. So that way, our job is really a tough situation we will face. But I bet that every veterinarian is capable of handling that, because our approach and thinking, everything will be more oriented towards the welfare of the elephant, its safety, and following the scientific principles. So that is a very tough situation to handle. Yet we are doing that one thing, sir. And coming to the translocation, though translocation in most cases it end up in a failure. Either the animal will return back to its own home range, or it will start creating trouble in the place where it is translocated. At least while choosing the translocation option, we should make sure that the place, the home range and the translocating place should have some similarities, some vegetation types which are same in both areas, so that there may be a little chance for the elephant to settle over there. If you are translocating it in totally a different landscape where the vegetation is totally different, this guy is already habituated to raid crops, the kind of stuffs. When he is put in a totally a new place, it will still what to say, increase his intention to come out of that forest and stay towards the croplands. So in that way, though translocation is not a successful choice, if we are forced and bound to do that, we should always keep in mind that the place where it is going to be translocated, and also the demography of elephants there also, we can keep it in mind. As much as possible, we will try to make a balance. Rest is, it's not in our hand. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's a really nice what you put it. And no, it's always an intriguing question for me, because say there is, I really appreciate the forest department efforts. Across the country, any state forest department would like to safeguard the wildlife. That's always there, but they are also under tremendous amount of pressure from the public, from the politicians, and they have to really swiftly act, because there are lives and livelihoods are at stake. I mean, I really appreciate the officers, it's a very tough situation for officers to take a decision, either to capture or not to capture, translocate them. But the other thing is, the other dimension, what I see is that soon after the capture, because looking at the recent instance where an animal which was captured in Karnataka landed up in Manandwadi, okay, and one person died, and it's a Belur Makra. Yeah, so that was shifted back to the forest, and everybody wants to demand the capturing that particular individual. So, including the media, I mean, there are a lot of debates that happened there on Malayalam news channels. Naming that is a notorious animal, killer animal kind of thing. But it's a really tough situation. So when the question, the point which comes to my mind is that if that is looking at our natural vegetation areas, elephant landscapes are very small as compared to the home ranges requirements of an animal. They are bound to enter any of the human habitations. Yeah. So then the pressure comes to take the animal to captivity. So how are we? I mean, it's not a question for you, but I'm just questioning myself that how it is justifiable to take a free-ranging an animal which spent nearly for 30 or 40 years and suddenly landing up in a captivity under restricted conditions and under supervision. I strongly feel that it is a death of that individual. Psychologically, spirit is. That's one thing. And second thing is that if you start removing individuals from a population, we're actually disrupting the entire social fabric of the elephant society. Because if there are dominant individuals, and there are studies which will actually talk about the successful mating will happen only with the dominant individual that is present there. Even though subordinate males mate a female, but the female can actually choose how mating can be successful thing. So this will actually impact or negatively affect the elephant population at much larger if we start removing the dominant ones or older ones from its population. I would appreciate if you have something to share.
Yes, sir. 2 points I want to stress, 3 points I want to stress upon this, sir. One thing is, as you said, definitely there will be the genetic diversity will be negatively impacted if we take a dominant bull and take it to captivity. And another one thing is, suppose if if we are sure that that particular individual is out of the breeding, suppose he keep repeatedly spending most of his time all alone along the human habitation, and he is not interacting with any of the wild herds. In that sense, we may go for capture, sir. That may not affect the diversity, but this kind of individuals are very rare, I would say. And another one thing is, after taking them to captivity, in our elephant camp like Mudumalai, Top Sleep, Bandipur, Rampura camp and all, we are giving them a semi-wild life only. Only for during that period of 90 days only, the taming operations will be there, where they will be locked inside a structure called crawl. So the design of the structure, the crawl is also designed in such a way that the elephant can exhibit all kind of its natural physiological movements. The dimension of that crawl is 12 feet into 12 feet. Within that dimension, the elephant can lie down comfortably and get up. So it is it comes over refined over years and years together, and the design was there. And also the training is, as it is mostly projected in the media, like beating, starving kind of stuff, it's not there. So once we capture the elephant and he is bound to be captive, we will place him inside the crawl, and only 2 individuals, that is elephant caretakers, will be allowed to interact with them. They will go and speak. Sometimes they will sing a song, folk songs. Then they will give water, food, everything. It will be available round the clock to the elephant. Then slowly the elephant will get habituated to those 2 peoples. He started accepting them. One beauty is, since they are social animals, at one point of time they will accept humans also. That is the the base behind taming an elephant, I would say. Then slowly they will give food kind of stuff, and they will start to train him in their own way, which is they have a traditional knowledge which we can't do that. No one can do that, I would say, because from childhood itself they came up seeing the elephants, helping their father, who is also an elephant man kind of stuff. So they inherently possess that knowledge. So it is kind of a positive enrichment only. Nothing like beating and all. I would say there is no, because I myself watched the training an elephant from day one. So after 3 months, they will be taken out and they will be put a chain on their leg. That is also a negative comment from Western peoples and most of the animal welfare peoples. Oh, you are chaining the elephant kind of stuff. You can't believe that it is just like putting a bangle or wristwatch for a human. So putting a chain is like tying a watch to the elephant only. That too, the chain will weigh the normal chain. What we use is, we call it as a track chain. That will weigh around 20 to 30 kg. That too, they won't carry it. They will just drag it. That chain is the passport of freedom for the elephants, because we leave the elephant inside the forest for grazing. They go interact with the wild elephant. They play with the wild elephant. They mate with the wild elephant. They breed with the wild elephant. Sometimes they will pick up fight with the wild elephant also. That is our headache. Then we have to come and treat the wounds kind of stuff. That is the main treatment we are giving in our camp. So the purpose of the track chain is to make sure that the elephant is tracked back inside the forest. And also, if he goes out of control, elephant is not a dog or a cat. If he goes out of control, we can go and hug him and take him. He is such a huge creature. How we can go and control him? We will take our kumkis, ask them to step on that chain so that the elephant will come into control. So that chain is only for, it's a passport for the freedom. So there is nothing cruel or kind of stuff in the chaining the elephant. And some other chains during must time we will use which will have more weight, because the main intention is to slow down the movement of the elephant. That is will be used only during when the elephant is in the must. And during must also, the elephant will be given all sort of facilities they needed. Like they will be tethered near the river side where there is shade. He will have access to water. Green fodders will be provided. Again, the wild elephants will come and interact with him. Some of the female elephants also we will allow to interact with the must elephant. If they are acceptable, they will exhibit their courtship, all kind of stuff. So my point is, though they are taken into captivity, they have a different set of lovely life here. And around the year, we are giving good food, good nutritious food, nourishes food. We are taking care of their ailments. Whereas if they are in the wild, suppose now it is May, it is a peak summer, the elephants in the forest, they will be in a more stress. There should not be any, there won't be get any good grasses. They have to travel long, lot of stress will be there. Whereas see our camp elephants, we are procuring fodder, we are giving them, we are giving water, we are giving minerals, nutrients, everything. So their longevity is high in our camp. So as I say that even they are taken to captivity as a last sort of resort, they have a good life here also. We can't say that it is a kind of jail, it is kind of cruel kind of stuff. So that point I want to emphasize, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, yeah. So the other question which always comes to my mind is that have you come across an incident where the captive individuals that were captured because of the conflict lost their lives in captivity?
Conflicts.
Or anything that captured, for example,
Yes, sir. In my
conditions. I mean, have you come across elephants losing their lives soon after their capture?
Yes, sir. In our camp, during my tenure in the past 3 years, it happened 2 times, sir. One time the tusker was very grievously injured.
Okay.
He has some pus cavities on his back. So as sir knows that once the elephant feel unsafe inside the forest, they always try to come towards the human habitations. I feel there are 2 reasons. One reason is they want to escape from the other individuals, dominant tuskers, because they can't go and fight with him because my body condition is weak. How I can go and challenge a guy? So if I come towards the human habitation, this dominant guy, they won't come to the habitation area because he mostly spend his time in the forest. That is the one reason. The another thing is there will be easy food in the human habitation area, like even garbage, dustbins. We can see even in Mudumalai Tiger Reserve also, the elephants are coming and taking eating garbages. Even dung also, we can see a lot of plastics inside the Tiger Reserve. It's a bitter truth, I have to say. So these are 2 reasons why injured elephants will come towards the human habitations. This happens in Mudumalai also. So he had a grievous injury. So again, we don't want to take him to the captivity. We tranquilized him, explored the injury, and we make sure that it happened because of fight with some other tusker only. It doesn't happen because of any human-made thing. So what we said is we will leave him back inside the forest itself, so that he will spend his rest of his life another 4 months or 6 months inside the forest itself.
Right.
But again, he keep on repeatedly coming towards the human dominated area. And unfortunately, one fireball was thrown on the elephant in the process of chasing it away. That got highly highlighted, and his ear got very much injured, almost necrosed, decayed, and started sloughing off. And we know circulation to the ear are very high because the thermoregulation is mainly by cooling the blood on the ear vein. So he started bleeding like anything.
Yeah.
So a lot of media attentions, and they gave the order to took him to captivity and treat him. And that was my first operation after taking charge as forest veterinarian.
Okay.
And what my boss told is, doctor, we will wait 1 or 2 days. We will ask senior veterinarians also to come and we will do the operation. Because if anything untowards happen means, then our whole of our department will be not in a position will be answerable. And that was my boss' opinion. But fortunately, that day itself, the animal came to a place where it is conducive for capture, one thing, and he is continuously bleeding. Every moment we postpone the operation, his body condition is going down and down and down, and he may not be able to withstand the sedative thing, kind of thing. Again, we know that he is unfit for capture, because that much he is weakened for almost for 6 months. He is suffering with the wound on his back. For past 2 weeks, lot of blood losses are there. So in spite of that, I told sir, whatever blame comes, I will take. In good faith, we will go for capture today itself, because tomorrow another 10 liters of blood will be lost. Our intention is to save the elephant. In good faith, we will go for the capture. Whatever comes, I will give in a written statement wherever you want. In good faith only, because of this kind of reason only, I went for the capture, like that. Again, in good faith, we went for the capture. We took the elephant. On the way to the camp, it died. Then we gave all the things, what are the precautions we take, why we went for that thing. And somewhat that issue is settled. That one thing happened, sir. And another thing is, again, it happened in Godalur. Again, another tusker, it had a very grievous injury on his back. It developed into that maggots and all developed. And the department treated him with oral medications. That injury got cured. Then he returned back into the forest. For 6 months, he was nowhere seen near the human habitation. After 6 months, again he picked up an injury and he started herding in the human habitation area itself. This time we gave the oral medications, but he is not taking and he is unable to cure that. Then we are given order to capture him. So this time we captured that elephant without giving sedation. Because last time, weak elephant, we gave sedation, he died. So this time we want to take all precaution measures. So he is a tusker. So how we can go and capture an elephant without giving sedation? Two things, 2 points are positive for us. One thing is, he is not highly mobile. His movement is restricted to some, I would say, some 1 or 2 hectares. And we are suspecting a fracture in his leg also, some hairline fracture or kind of stuff. So if we take kumkis, tusker kumkis near him and lock him and we will put the rope. That was our first thing come into mind. And what another thing is, if we take a tusker, he may afraid of that, seeing the tusker, he may afraid of him. In that thing, he may try to run, he may fall down. Again, he will complicate its health. So what we planned is, in our camp, we have a female elephant called Sumangala. This elephant is, though she is female, our male tuskers will be afraid to go near her because he will push and roll them down. So we thought we will use that Sumangala elephant, female elephant, to go near him. So since it is female, it may pacify him, the kind of stuff. And it worked beautifully. First we send this elephant Sumangala, and they both joined together. They started taking grass and pampering each other. By the time we made our Mavuts from Kerala, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu, they are really wonderful. They know the behavior of the elephant. So they made a snooze and put it in the ground. Then they asked Sumangala to come towards that loop. Along with her, that elephant also came. And then once he stepped into that bait, we tightened it. Like that, we captured him without giving sedation.
Right.
So after capturing him, we stabilized him inside the forest for 2 days. Then only we loaded him in the truck and placed him inside the crawl structure. And we started treating him. And his wound is healing very wonderful. Very nicely, the wound is healing. But after 21 or 22 days, he suddenly developed pyrexia, fever, some infection, and he collapsed. On postmortem, we came to know that he is positive for this herpes virus.
Oh.
So these two incidents where the captured individuals died is mostly the injured individuals died, sir.
Yeah.
And also I want to emphasize one thing, sir. If an elephant is healthy, he can withstand even the double the amount of recommended tranquilization dose. That's what my personal experience says. If there is any injury, if there is any of his internal system is affected, like if there are any issues in heart, if you have any issues in lungs, or any internal abscess, that time even a mild dose will end up in fatality. So this is not in our in our hand. In good faith, we presume that the elephant is healthy. We will monitor his daily routine, like as I said before, his feeding habit, watering, defecation, his locomotion, and his roaming behavior. All under we indirect evidence only we will get, and based on that only we are going for the capture operation. But in spite of that, these wild elephants and wild animals, we know whatever internal ailments they have, they won't show most of the time till before their time of death. So I would very, very confidently say that these tranquilization medicines and overdose, single dose, double dose, triple dose, they don't play a key role in death of the elephant because of that internal problem which the elephant carries. That is the prime factor leading to death of those elephants which were captured, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, so finally that I would like to share 2 points of 2 experiences which we had. Seeing an elephant in a human use areas does not mean that that animal is a killer. Okay, yeah, because we keep seeing lots of elephants in human dominated landscapes. So that's a known thing across India. And we can't have exclusive zones for people and elephants. So people and elephants in many landscapes we have been interacting with each other. So there used to be one female called Monica Hurt. When I was doing my PhD, I identified and I followed her troop, and she used to lead the group. Once she actually charged my gypsy and pulled the back door. Okay, and it was that thing. But the same female actually started spending a lot of time among people very close to houses, next to the house. Yeah, we have pictures of her, and people started. She became very docile because after 50, she became very docile, and people started calling her as Singari, it's a beautiful woman. And when she died, because some other tusker gored her, people applied leave in tea estates to pay homage to this female. It's a kind of compassion, and it's a kind of empathy that people do have towards certain individuals, even though that she was called a notorious female thing. But when she became very docile and acceptance of people, okay, this is one incident that happened there. And it has actually changed the purview of the perspective of the people towards that particular female. The another thing is called, there is one very, very interesting male in Hassan region where we are seeing Bhima. He's called Bhima. Bhima never troubled anybody. Okay, when he's in mast, he will travel through villages. There's one forest guard. Really hats off to him. His name is Jaipal. He actually walks, the entire team walks in front of Bhima when Bhima is walking through villages. This Mr. Jaipal actually warned people, hey, leave some space for this animal to pass through this particular village. And look at from the elephant point of view, that elephant knows, Bhima knows that there are houses, Bhima knows that there are people around. When he can accept our presence, why can't we accept them?
Yeah.
It's because this will actually, these 2 instances will actually show us that elephants are so capable, and they're like us. They will be able to understand the situation. All it requires is that little bit of room, freedom, or accommodating him or her or the particular individuals in a given landscape, that will actually reduce frictions between people and elephants thing. Because there are amazing people, amazing elephants. It's only that the misinterpretation of this is a notorious animal or not, before naming any individual, as you rightly pointed out that you don't like naming individuals. I completely agree with you, because the moment you name, and every animal would become that particular individual. Any animal that is seen outside is called Monica, Monica, or Bima, Bima, Bima. So notorious thing, kind of thing. So yeah, as a final thing, I would request for your advice, doctor, is that as a veterinarian, because lots of people, I'm sure that in this group, lots of people may be veterinarians, maybe joining, maybe listening to our conversation, but at the same time, that what is that final thing that we can actually come up, I mean, tell the audience, from the veterinary perspective thing, and from other perspective, what I can say is that let's give a benefit of doubt to an individual before we actually call that particular individual as a killer. Okay. Because if elephants want to kill people, nobody can live in that place. Yeah, every day that you will see somebody or the other getting killed by elephant or injured by elephant thing. It's just because that certain circumstances which may be avoidable, if that can be enforced and if that can be made understandable for people, and I'm sure that elephants will also give room for people. Okay. And the final message from you would really help the audience, doctor. Thank you.
Sure, sir. The thing is, if just to give respect the elephant, respect their behavior. That is a simple thing. That is the solution, sir. For example, the elephant will navigate mostly during early morning or late evening. During that time, avoid going in their path. Restrict ourselves. Then they will be attracted towards human habitations. Why they are attracted? One thing is, it might be their path to another landscape or another habitat. That number two is, some attractive food will be there, like banana or arecanut or this jackfruit. Now it is jackfruit season. So if it is their corridor, it is their regular path, better we will shift ourselves to other place. If we are growing attractive fruits, stop growing them. Then what is the purpose of the elephant to come and visit us? Just like these are examples, I would say. Understand the elephant, respect their behavior. Because we being having sixth sense, I would say that we are the one not understanding the elephant and behaving roguely. These elephants and animals are, even though they don't have sixth sense, they are very well adjusting to humans. So please, my message is, understand the behavior of the elephant and respect their behavior. If you do that, definitely the issues will be 99.999% solved. There is 0.1% of some individuals turning into rogue, as I pointed out, repeatedly coming in search of food, or they're addicted to some homemade stuffs. In those cases, as a last resort, and also we want to take the community also in the part of conservation with the hard thing and applying our thoughts and science also, it is obligatory necessary to go for capturing those elephants. And I would say better take them to captivity than translocating the problem to other places. And as I pointed earlier, in captivity also, they have a better life. So in one of the Tamil movie, there is a life after love failure also. So just like that, even their home range is not, if you feel not fit to live there. In captivity also, we are giving a better life. And after taking into captivity, we should ensure their wellness of the elephant, one thing. And also we have to think in all possible ways to make use of these elephants in the captive to save their fellow beings. Like if we have a very good trained kumkis, we can use them for chasing the wild elephants back into the wild. So we have to make use of those captive elephants also for research or for anti-depredation operations, all kind of things. So the captive management also, we have to make it comfortable for the elephants and also to conserve the species. So this is what my message is, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Finally, one question I will ask you. I mean, it's not a question thing, but I just would like to know your opinion. So do you really see that captures are going to mitigate conflict?
Sir, as I said, it's depend upon the individual cases, sir. Yes, sir. It won't be a solution, but what to say? At some point of time, some elephants, no way we have to go for it, sir. But it is not a solution.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, doctors.
Thank you.
Over to organizers.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you, Dr. Anand, and thank you, Dr. Rajesh. That was a very interesting discussion that you had. And in fact, Dr. Anand's last question would have led to another unending discussion. So, and what we take away from these discussions is that we all know that when an elephant capture or a translocation happens, it is mostly due to the pressure from politicians, from the vote bank, and the people who are residing in the area that's been affected. More than the forest department actually asking for the animal to be captured, it's only because of the people pressure that's around them. And as Dr. Rajesh rightly said, it's the veterinarians who are really, caring about an elephant or an animal which has to be darted, because I totally understand the complexities of darting an elephant, because you need to select the right dosage. Like he said, even a healthy elephant can take 2 to 3 doses, but you're never sure what is inside an elephant, what it is suffering from. So the right dosage of the drug that has to be administered, because if the elephant dies, that becomes another big media issue. So people take it and blow it out of proportion once again. So people who are actually saying capture this elephant, they will turn back and say, oh, these people came and killed the elephant. So all these things we have been seeing. And also, right, as Dr. Rajesh rightly said, naming an elephant or any animal for that matter, it will prove detrimental for the animal also. One of the examples is one of the elephants was named Rowdy Ranga. So that Rowdy name, it sticks to the elephant till it dies. It might have done mischief once or twice, but that name will stick, and people will, associate that particular title with the behavior of the elephant, which might not be the actual behavior of the elephant at all. And as Dr. Anand also said, that the forest department is also under a lot of pressure to capture elephants. So when you actually capture an elephant, you might be translocating the problem from one location to the other location. And because it's new to the habitat, it doesn't understand the habitat, it doesn't know where to get its food, so it will start gravitating towards the nearby villages. And a lot of learning from this discussion, very interesting discussion. I am sorry that the time ended. But I would like to throw the floor open for questions. We have some very interesting questions that have come up. I think the Q&A session is going to be handled by uh, Siddharth. I'll just have a brief introduction for Siddharth. Is my screen visible? I think the screen keeps coming and
Yeah,
going.
it's visible. It's visible.
Yeah, so I would like to introduce Siddharth Shetty, who has been tasked with handling the Q&A session. Siddharth is currently, pursuing a master's degree in wildlife documentary filmmaking at the University of Salford, Manchester, UK. He holds a bachelor's degree in electronics and communication engineering. I see a lot of techies, getting into wildlife. He has a fervent passion for nature. He has developed expertise in drone technology, teaching workshops to over 1,000 students, and collaborating with the Karnataka Forest Department on documentary projects. Siddharth's commitments extends to supporting elephant capture operations through aerial surveillance and actively participating in numerous rescue operations, particularly focusing on elephant rescue initiatives. He has chosen conservation filmmaking as a medium to contribute to the preservation of a planet, driven by a desire to give back to nature and safeguard its future. Welcome, Siddharth, and you can take it over from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Srinivas sir, for the brief introduction given. First of all, thank you so much, Dr. Rajesh sir and Anand Verma sir for Anand sir for this wonderful session, for giving us that raw insight, what's happening around, what is the true facts, and it's been really amazing for the last 1.5 hour. And I'm pretty sure all of us are going to take, the most out of this and contribute in every possible way we can. So without wasting any further time, I would like to take off this session with the Q&A. And the first question goes with, how do you determine where to release the elephants?
Sir, Ananda Kumar, sir. Shall I answer, sir?
Yeah, please go ahead, Dr.
Yes,
Rajesh.
sir. Yes, sir. In my opinion, we will choose an area which is far away from human habitation, where there is a contiguous forest. That is the first thing we will, first and foremost thing we will have. And another thing is, the elephant which is going to be translocated will be have to be placed in a place where there is no no forest connectivity to its home range. Otherwise, he will easily come back to its home range. That one perception is there. These two things are the main criteria what the forest department and we take into account. I think Ananda Kumar sir will add more points to that.
No, I think from the scientific data, what it is clear is that elephants show strong fidelity to their ranges. I mean, we keep seeing in anomalies what is one individual which is mostly seen in Kerala, part of Nelayampati Hills, and during Jan to March, he'll be seen in the anomalies. Okay. So every year he comes to this place because of the must. During that particular must season, so he travels a lot and very consistently that we are seeing him. So it's a very difficult thing because homing instinct is being seen in many species, even snakes. Dogs, you can actually see them. Cats, you can see them. Even snakes also. Romulus Whitaker has actually, his study actually clearly indicates that snakes show homing instinct. So it's a very difficult. Look at the cognitive abilities of an elephant thing. Even though you are shifting far away, that individual is coming back, or in some cases, the individual may land up in some other new place. Poor fellow may not know how resources are distributed and what kind of pressures exist in that new area. So in that way, that we are actually shifting the problem from one location to other location rather than solving it. Yeah. So as Dr. Rajesh as I rightly pointed out that if you are capturing, putting in radio color and leave that animal in that same place, because the animal knows how the resources are distributed. See, as far as conflicts are concerned, in my view, is that conflicts should be managed. Okay, is the management of the conflict that we will be able to do rather than thinking that, okay, conflict, we should bring down conflict to zero thing. Okay, which is not possible in countries like India. And because conflict has two dimensions. One is the loss of life or injury to a person. The second one is property damage, which is a building damages to buildings or crops thing. So both requires a different kinds of approaches. Yes, there is no way that we can afford to lose anybody's life, whether it's a person's life or the elephant life thing. So that's where we really need to work towards that, understanding the factors and try to attain that everybody is safe, and the safety should be increased to everybody who is actually sharing the landscape. So, yeah. Thanks.
Thank you so much, guys. That was really, really a great insight again. So to march on to the next question. So this question is to Dr. Rajesh specifically. So how do you decide the dosage of the tranquilizer in the field? That is, how do you decide the body weight there?
Yes. So any tranquilizing medicine dosage is based on the body weight. So there are many indirect ways of measuring the body weight. The one thing is, if we know the front foot circumference of an elephant, we will be able to extrapolate it to its shoulder height. That is just multiply by 2. Suppose the front foot circumference is 100 centimeter. The height at shoulder will be 200 into 2, 200 centimeters. So from that, there are lot of formulas are there for females, for males, for different age groups. With that height, we will be able to estimate the weight of the elephant. This is how we will estimate the weight of the wild elephant. Based on that, we will calculate the dose. Coming to the dose, there is no prescribed fixed dose. They vary with individual. They vary with captive elephant. They vary with the wild elephant. So, for example, there is one medicine called xylazine. If we give 1 ml of it to our camp elephants, they will sleep like anything. Whereas we give the same elephant up to 6 ml, 7 ml to wild elephants, it won't make any change in their behavior. And also, depending upon the health status of the elephant and also its mental status. Suppose, as I said, if we stalk an elephant, move behind him without knowing, without the elephant sensing us, and we give the dot in a calm atmosphere, the prescribed minimum level of dose is enough to give the level of sedation. Suppose if there is a huge crowd, if we are chasing, we are putting firecrackers and flushing him out, he is in an excited state. That time, if we give the minimum recommended dose, it won't act. You will need to give still higher doses. So it depends upon the excitement state of the animal also. You can't fix, this is the weight, it is a dynamic process. Multiple factors are involved. Whether it is a hotter part of day, whether it is a colder part of the day, whether the elephant has taken water before giving the dose, whether it is urinating after taking the dot. Lot of factors, whether it is excited, whether it is calm, whether it is male, whether it is female, whether it is expected to be pregnant, whether it is in must. All these factors will play a role in deciding the dose. So it is the veterinarian one who is on the field, who is observing all those things, he is in the best position to calculate the dose. This is what everyone has to understand. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir. That definitely sounds like a very tough and a very pressure situation. But still, you guys do it so effectively and efficiently. Hats off to that. So going to the next question, we have someone asking, is it possible for us to make the elephant stay in a particular area? I mean, we know that, there are corridors, but still sometimes these elephants, they end up coming out outside the buffer areas and, thereby to the farm. So is it practically possible for these elephants to, kept confined in a particular area?
I think Ananda Kumar sir can answer this.
No, it's a very difficult, no, because the strange situation for wide-ranging species like elephants and all, they have been sandwiched between two kinds of pressures. There are pressures inside their natural habitats because there are roads coming up, there are hidden projects that are there, and there is a lot of traffic that goes there. And adding the climate change thing that is also influencing the resource base availability. So, and outside that there are crops, there are people, villages, poor elephants in a way that they are sandwiched between these two kinds of pressures created by us. And it's very difficult to confine elephants to a particular region. Okay, but even though they do have home ranges, as I said, that they do exhibit their fidelity to their ranges. Just to give an example, okay, one thing is that elephants are just like us, that are very, very sensitive to changes in the land use. Just to give an example, that we have been following herds in Valpara region since 2002 from my PhD times. And now, right now, up to. And these elephant herds which are identified, they have shown consistent movement patterns. Same areas are being used. It's just because that there are many changes that happen in the land use. Okay. There are no obstacles for elephants to move through these tea plantation areas of the Valpara Plateau. These are the elephant herds which we have been seeing for last 22 years. They're consistently showing, which is remarkable because they have comes to the changed conditions, ecological conditions, and their behaviors also remain more or less static. But as compared to some other areas where you have lots of solar power fences that have come up around coffee plantations, Particularly in the Hassan region where we are working from 2000 since 2015, elephants actually moved to a neighboring range called Belur range. Yeah. And the people in Belur range had never seen elephants that often. So suddenly seeing an elephant has actually created trouble. So conflicts have increased. Elephants are deflected. They are forced to use new areas thing because the changes that happened in the land use. Yeah. So this having this solap offenses or physical barriers in their regular movement areas has actually pushed them into neighboring areas thing. And which people are unable to cope up with this. Elephants are unable to deal with the changing conditions thing. And it creates a chaotic situation there. Yeah. So many people lost their lives, which is really sad. I mean, which is really painful when we hear that somebody is losing life. And that mounts a lot of pressure on elephants and a lot of pressure on people because their safety is compromised. Elephants' existence is compromised thing. So it's very they try to remain in the same place because they know very well that how resources are actually distributed in a given area. That's how that they show strong fidelity to their ranges. But if there are certain changes that happens there, elephants also adapt to those changes because they have the phenomenal ability to adapt to changing conditions both ecologically and modify their behaviors accordingly. Thank you. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, sir, absolutely. That was really, really a good answer. Yeah, going for the next question. Um, it's related to the recent incident that happened to our Arjuna, and the question is, what lessons or rather experiences can be learned from the capture that resulted in the death of elephant Arjuna? So let's open for the panel.
I feel that no, I don't know what actually happened there. But coming to our expertise and our experience of Karnataka Forest Department, especially South Indian states, they should have taken all the precautions. But it's always a risky process. Accidents do happen. It is not something happening every time. It happened Arjuna only, I think so. So whatever precautions we are taking, still we will try to take more precautions so that the safety of our fellow companion animals and also ourselves. Even there is one incident where one sharpshooter also died in Kerala also. Sorry, Karnataka. I think this last year. So we should not take any chance with the animal, especially huge animals like elephants. No, we should not take any chance. We should always plan for the worst and hope for the best. That's what I say. I think Anand Kumar sir can give his valuable thoughts.
I don't know because I wasn't there when this incident happened, when Arjuna lost life there. But, I think maybe, I think the department may have taken enough precautions, as Dr. Rajesh clearly indicated that. But when the error happens, maybe the error on the right side more than at the wrong side thing, because nobody wants to lose an elephant. Okay. But the lessons is that we need to be really cautious. While selecting an individual, because as per the news reports, it says that animal was also in must. The wild elephant was also in must, and Arjuna was also in must. I don't know the conditions there that time when this incident happened, because I will always take with a pinch of salt about the news that appears in the newspapers. Okay, and forming a judgment is a wrong thing if I say anything about this. But definitely that if animal was in must thing, and it's not a right thing to capture an animal which is in must. So as per the procedure thing. And I'm sure that department people would have taken enough precautions, including this point, before taking any decision on this particular incident. So that's what I can say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure there would have been It's quite obvious, operations like these can be quite risky, and it's not just about the life of elephant, but also the people who are trying to reduce the conflict. The people who are the doctors, the trackers, the veterinary team. Everybody is involved, and it's so much happening all within those just few minutes or hours. But I'm quite sure this was not the outcome the forest department, they themselves would have expected. But having said that, things can go wrong at times. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the government, or I mean, the forest department would have learned from these experiences and would have been prepared for the future incidents, so that they can uh, not lose life like Arjuna's. Um, Thank you so much for answering that question. Moving on to the next question. So it says, there has been a high mortality of elephants that have been captured and put in camps in Karnataka. What's your take on this? And also to add on, what's your take on capture myopathy in elephants? So again, it's open for the panel.
So, coming to capture myopathy, these ungulates are more prone to capture myopathy. Deer species, especially sambar deer and cheetal deer, they are more prone to capture myopathy. Coming to elephants, they are relatively more relatively more resistant to capture myopathy. And again, coming to that, as we discussed earlier, if the elephants they are already having any internal issues, it is not under any one of our control. They are destined to die on a particular day. Unfortunately, our intervention also coincided with that thing, means no one can help with that one thing. Then another thing is, after taken to captivity, I don't know how many elephants died in Karnataka. One thing I know is one elephant died in Rampura camp. Actually, that elephant was captured in Coimbatore, translocated to Mudumalai in 2018, I think. Then again, it started creating trouble in Mudumalai area. Then it went back to Bandipur area. There it is captured and taken to captivity. There it died. It has a long history of coming to human habitations. And the postmortem revealed that he has some issues in his cardiac functioning. That one thing personally I know, because I interacted with vet and I followed that animal since it is from Tamil Nadu. So other animals, I don't have any idea. But again, the internal issues play a crucial role, which is beyond our limit to act. Whatever precautions we take, it happens. I did postmortem of one wild elephant in Gudalur last 1 month before. Outside, he looks apparently healthy, very bulky and healthy, and he is also of a young age. I think he is aged around 8 years. When I opened the carcass, there was about 10 liters of pus in his lung cavity, between lungs and the thoracic ribs. Actually, the elephants don't have pleura, so the lungs will be directly attached to the thoracic cavity. That place was get separated between the lungs and the thoracic cavity. There is about a huge gap, and it's filled with pus. By looking externally, definitely no one would imagine that such a healthy elephant will have such an internal issues in its lungs. If we gave any dot or any sedation, during sedation or tranquilization, the functioning of the heart, the functioning of the respiration, lungs, everything will slow down. Already, if it has a compromised cardiac ability and respiratory function, means definitely there is a more chance that the animal will collapse, notwithstanding the sedative stress. So this kind of thing is there. That capture myopathy, I would say it's not much of a thing, provided the animal don't have any internal issues. Yes. Thank you, sir. Ananda Kumar, sir. Sir can add up, sir.
I don't know. So I don't have for data to say lots of animals into this diet may have happened, may not have happened. It's very difficult for me to give any kind of comment on this particular thing, because I've never been to any of these captive areas. Yeah.
And another one thing, sir, just I want to add up. What I heard is in Karnataka, they are using this etorphine, this knockdown sedation. The beauty of that is once you dot the animal, within 5 to 10 minutes, the drug will act, the animal will fall down. So the animal will fall down without having a sense. Sometimes it will rest on its chest. So once it rests on its chest, within 5 to 10 minutes, we have to go and turn him towards the lateral recumbency. Or sometimes there is a chance for him to fall in abnormal position against a tree or any rock, or with its trunk stuck between his abdomen, his respiration may be severely compromised. So the element of risk is there in using the tetarfine drug. That is during capture. But after taking it to captivity, that is totally a different story. Yeah, thank you.
All I can say is that, let's actually work towards bringing elephants into captivity less and less.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yeah.
And unless it is really inevitable and justifiable, unless the animal requires the captive conditions in order to survive, and we should actually look forward to curbing capturing of elephants, because that's not going to solve. It's neither going to solve the conflict nor contributing to elephant conservation. This is what I personally feel.
Yeah, thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much, Anand, sir, for that. I just had a personal question from my side, actually. So I like the fact, Doctor, you kept stressing that capturing elephant or, translocating them is ideally not the solution, which is true. So what could be the alternative solution for this? Is it just that we are hoping for the coexistence between the humans and the wildlife, or do you think we might, we also have something coming up as a backup for these conflicts?
I think Ananda Kumar sir will answer this in the best way.
Yes, please.
See, conflicts have been there. I mean, negative interactions have been there for many, many centuries. It's not something that what we are seeing now, conflicts. But, given the conditions in countries like India, people will always ask for permanent solution. In my view, what is permanent solution? Either people should be there or elephants should be there. So that is the permanent solution thing. But please let us look at the reality. How many of such places that we do have, number one, because when elephants are actually distributed, even outside protected areas, in human use areas, where in the last 30, 40 years, there has been a dramatic shift or drastic reduction in the natural forest areas. What we are seeing, wide-ranging species have no other choice in moving through this. And for that, it's a much larger problem, no? It's a very complex issue. And let's not look at the permanent solution thing, but let's look at the better solutions. There are better solutions that are available. Okay. There are examples. We have absolutely no idea about conflict hotspots across India, which are the places that need more attention. Even though we have been studying elephants for the past 30, 40 years, that we have absolutely no idea about how the conflicts are actually distributed across India and in range states. We have absolutely no idea. We don't have demographic data, actually. What happens if there is a capture that happens there? What happens if the elephants die in a given area? How that's going to affect the demographic parameters of populations? We have absolutely no idea about that. We only have this one particular number, what we are saying, the 30,000 elephants in India. What are we going to do with that 30,000 elephant numbers unless we know the demographic parameters thing? So this is where we really need to work towards. And so given that, in Sri Lanka, 70% of the land is shared by people and elephants. There is a classic paper from Karnataka, is that the paper talks about nearly 60% of elephant population is distributed outside protected areas. They are distributed, which means that they have been there throughout their lifetime outside protected. It does not mean that. It means that at some point of time in these elephants, in their lifetime, they are seen even in human dominated areas. Yeah. So in that way, that working towards the coexistence is the only chance, because coexistence should not be seen as a forcible action, but is a desirable option that we really need to work towards. Because there are examples, there are if there are efforts that have been given, the safety to people's lives, that cannot be compromised. We have to have a safety for people's lives, and at the same time, that how best that we can actually reduce property damage or crop damage, that we really need to work towards that. That's what I can say.
Thank you so much, Anand sir. We have the next question that is partly related to the previous question. So is the approach of the people or farmers who are constantly involved in these kinds of conflict, is their mindset changing or are they evolving? So what's happening with them? Are people becoming more patient these days, or are we seeing the other side of it? It's open to the panel.
I just want to emphasize one thing. So in some 40-50 years back, or even 20-30 years back, agriculture and cropping is mainly for the home use. The commercial kind of thing was not there. The farmer will cultivate in his land, aiming only for his own use and for giving his relative, daughters, son, or whoever maybe. The excess will be taken to the market, and so the input cost is very less. They will have their own cow. They have a natural manure, and the family members will put their work in the field. So the input cost is less, and the prime motive is for getting the food they needed for their home. The cash, the commercial thing is not there much. So in those days, if an elephant come and raid the crops, you take as part of it, that won't have a much kind of a negative impact on the farmer's mind. Whereas now, fortunately, unfortunately, we started calculating economics for every drop of water we are using in the field. Even if in a banana plantation, if one banana plant is damaged by the elephant, that will be accounted into the loss of the farmer. So that kind of mindset, if it had come nowadays, so it has negatively impacting the farmer's mind about the elephants. One thing. So to overcome this, what we can do, I would feel is we have to simplify the compensation process and give double the amount of money. If one kg of a banana is damaged by the elephant, you give twice the kg, the cost. Present compensation is very less when compared to that actual loss meant by the farmer. So if wherever possible, we will have to make the farmer comfortable as far as his economic mean is concerned. Then this issue will be somewhat sorted out. That's what my opinion. Thank you.
Yeah, that makes sense, Doctor. Thank you so much. Anand, so would you like to add anything on this one?
I would like to share 2 points here. One is
Yes,
that the
please.
real incident that happened there when my colleague Mr. Vinod Krishnan was working in the project, Okay. So one day morning, we received a call. Vinod received a call saying that we noticed an elephant which was in the paddy field. And Vinod called that particular farmer and informed that person that there's an elephant in his paddy field. And then that person asked Vinod that, Yaradu, who is that? So Bhima, Parvagila bidi. So no problem. Okay. Yeah. So the farmer, that's one, because the Bhima is so affectionately loved by people. And except for that one unfortunate incident that happened last year, where department sharpshooter Mr. Venkatesh lost his life during that incident where Bhima killed him. But when he has been there since 2016 onwards, never caused trouble to anybody. And people also loved him, so tolerated his presence. So people also react differently to different individuals because of the individual personalities that are there. Okay, that's one aspect. We really need to work on these things, how people view elephants. All people want is that, their property is safeguarded, their livelihoods are safeguarded, their lives are safeguarded. Which is a legitimate thing. And if you look at the conflict, the result of the conflict is disproportionately borne by people who are poor, marginal. Okay, if somebody has 1 acre of land, and losing the entire crop in a single night, which is a disaster thing for that particular person's family, how will that person feed his or her own family thing? So we really need to take these things into account. And why should we always point out at forest department all the time? Because why can't we rope in agriculture department in the whole thing, horticulture department in the whole thing? So we need to have collectively work towards that, because agriculture department is capable, because which is 100 years old, which is capable of dealing with crop damage. If we consider that elephant damage are equivalent to the natural calamity kind of thing, and if we can actually work towards that. So there are multiple ways. It's not one department that is responsible to solve the issue, and all of us are responsible. Okay, it's the people who are actually questioning the department or questioning others, questioning the government, are also responsible in resolving or bringing down the property damage issues thing. So are we working towards that? It's not enough that raising questions, pointing out at the department or the government is the right thing to do, but what is my contribution for the entire thing? So we really need to be part of the pain of the people. And we really need to understand that the inevitable situations or conditions that elephants are actually going through these. Okay. It's not that, please do not think that elephants love being in conflict with the people, because elephants will always try to avoid people, will always try to avoid conflict conditions. Yeah. So that balancing act is very much necessary, where everybody has the responsibility to work towards a better conditions for people who are sharing their spaces and resources, and also towards conservation of elephants. Otherwise, we are going to lose elephants at much faster rate, much faster rate, because the conflicts are going to increase. Our perception of the conflict is also going to increase. That's going to mount a lot of pressure on the department officials. So officials have to react very, in a different way in order to deal with these things. And who are suffering? Both people and elephants are suffering. Nobody is being benefited by these kinds of pressures. So we really need to, there are ways. It's not that there are no ways at all. But damage to property or crop damages can be brought down. We really need to work towards that. And safety can be ensured. There are examples that people's lives safety can be ensured, but we really need to bring in people. Okay. It's not that we leave everything on people and we leave everything on the department. We really need to work towards that collectively, so that we'll be able to have this balancing, approach that would enhance co-inhabitation. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Anand sir. I'm pretty sure these questions will definitely make us all rethink about the decisions that we have done and we have taken. To add on to the first point, like as Anand sir mentioned, that is on, the wildlife can have a different perspectives on particular individual, like as in terms of human beings. So I just had a recent talk with my colleague, and he has a friend who lives in Hassan, and he has a banana plantation, and he told me that there is this one elephant which constantly keeps coming. In fact, it's the herd of elephant that keeps constantly coming, uh, close to his plantation. So I mean, there is a harmony between the wildlife and the farmer that, whenever these elephants come, they just eat a small portion of the crop and then they just leave. They do not, cause any sort of other destructions. Um, but whereas when they come to the neighboring plantation, they just come and they just destroy the maximum because the farmer has been rude. Now, this gave me a very interesting thought, like, oh, is it then our behavior towards wildlife is also somewhat related to their behavior with us? So is it like the interconnection between the wildlife and also with the human? So that pretty much, made me think, and yeah, that gave me a hope that if we are good to nature, I'm pretty sure the nature is also gonna give back something good in return. So having said that, to march on to the next question, it's a bit a long one. So how can we ensure the ethical and sustainable capture and relocation of wild elephants in Kerala while minimizing the stress and ensuring the well-being of both the elephants and the local communities? Also, the second part of the question is how can we integrate effective crowd control measures into the capture and relocation process of wild elephants in Kerala, drawing from recent incidents such as the tragic death of elephant in the Wayanad to ensure safety of both humans and elephants. The question is open to the panel, so if you guys could talk on that, please.
Yeah, the second part, the crowd control, I will answer first. So, European Revenue Department and Police Department and issue the curfew in that area. That is the only way we can ensure the crowd control. Otherwise, the people will be very curious. Everyone have, we have a cell phone. We will try to go take selfies and photos. And there should be a restriction on media also. Media people also flooding in. They endangering their life also. And the presence of crowd will negatively impact the elephant. As I said earlier, it will be in an excited state, and the rescue team also will have a lot of constraints in executing their plan precisely. So the crowd control is for ensuring the safety of the elephant. Crowd control is the key thing, and this has to be done. The media people should take sumo action that I should not go there. I should respect what the forest department is saying. I should not cross this line, as well as the coordinate with the line departments to put a curfew, I would say. And I think first part question Anand sir will answer. It's a quite big question.
Yeah,
Thank you.
see, yeah, I understand that is ethical concern and sustainable capture and relocation of the wild elephant thing. See, unfortunately, that those incidents that happened there in Kerala, where an individual called Tanir, which died after transporting from Kerala to Karnataka side. And look at the situation there, at least from the videos, what you can see is that there are the 144 section was imposed by the district administration, but it didn't work. It didn't work at all. You could actually see some 100 cameras, live telecasting the entire thing, which kept coming on the TV channels as if, there is some war is going on, which is really bizarre situation, because that will make people on the ground, the responsible people on the ground, they are unable to work in a peaceful manner, how to address the issue. Where the people, department officials were concerned about the safety of that particular individual, and darting that individual, but at the same time, that politicians are pressurizing, local people are pressurizing, media is screening the entire thing live telecast. I received a call from one of the channels saying that, oh, can you please come on line to give your opinion on this? No, this puts a huge amount of pressure. Okay. And it's completely unethical. Okay. It's a completely unethical thing. So what we need is that there is some emergency situations, unexpected situations that may happen in a given in any given area. But there has to be some emergency response units. But we should actually respect the people who are on the ground, who are given the responsibility by the government, who are capable of dealing with the situations. They need to be given time, calm, not pressurizing thing. That has to be really taken up. Otherwise, it's going to be a chaotic situation there. And recently, that one individual landed up in some Ponampet or somewhere in Kodagu region. Okay. That poor animal landed up suddenly. Everybody started saying that, oh, this is the killer elephant. He has to be captured. A poor fellow, may have lost his way and suddenly passing through this particular village thing. So really, that puts a lot of pressure. It's very, very unethical. And I was really stunned to see about 50 to 60 cameras live streaming thing in the entire situation there, which is bizarre situation. So that's what I can see. I mean, Yeah, so the ethical way of approach is that just to make sure that, we really need to work with the people. Okay, so, in such situations, we need to make people understand, and the media should cooperate so that it is not disproportionately inflated into a completely disaster kind of thing that is not good for elephants and people. Yeah, so control Dr. Rajesh has actually indicated that, yes, we really need to work along with the police and our district administration thing to deal with the conflict situations.
Yeah. Thank you, Anand sir. Thank you, Rajesh sir. We have almost come to the end of the question Q&A, but we have just a couple of more questions, and thereby we can wind up the session. So how do you precisely identify the problematic individual? Do you consider morphological attributes? Has misidentification ever happened in any of the capture operation in which you were involved? I think this question, Rajesh sir would be able to answer this.
Yes, so once before designating an elephant as a problematic elephant, we are not going to do it overnight. So over a period of time. So repeatedly, the elephant will be coming in negative interaction with humans. We will have enough photographs, and we will rope in ecologist also to profile that elephant, and we will study the behavior also. The profiling in the sense, all four sides, left side, right side, front, back, tail pattern, ear vein pattern, everything we will take into account. And so it takes a long time, process time, no? So there won't be any misidentification. One thing. The another thing is, while capture operation is on, at the time of dotting, there is a chance that we may dot the different individual. So the sharpshooter or the veterinarian or the whole team involved in the operation should be familiarized with that profiling of that elephant, and they should be very sure that they know their target. So in my operations, I almost involved in some 10 operations. Most of them are tuskers. So tuskers are a bit easy to identify. Very rarely they will have a similar tusk pattern. And one elephant is Makkana elephant. So it's about 12 years old. Even female also, there is a chance for us to misinterpret it. So that was one of the challenging operation I handled. But since from the day of operation onwards, in my mobile phone, I put the DP as the crucial identification marks of the elephant in my mobile DP. Every time I used to see that. So it was literally fixed in my mind. And so I don't have any much confusion during dotting. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Anand sir. I think we have almost run out of all the questions. And yeah, I just want to remind everyone, all the participants that are present here, if you have any further questions,
Hi, Siddharth.
please. Yeah, sorry.
No, I would like to respond to these two questions.
Yes, please. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah. One is that, to the best of my knowledge, at least I personally feel, is that there is no problem individual, but there are problem locations. Okay. And before if any animal, for example, naming that particular individual is a problematic, it requires a huge amount of exercise in identifying that this is really a problematic individual. Because any animal, if I tend to go very close to the animal within a mock charge distance, within where the animal doesn't feel safe, any animal can actually kill me or injure me. Yeah. So based on that, we can't label that particular individual is a problematic animal. Now, very, very rarely that you would come across problematic individuals if they are there. It's all problem locations, the circumstances that led to the loss of life or injury. Okay. And I also don't agree with the concept of habitual crop raiders. People always use that habitual crop raider thing, which is not the case because we don't know the history of that place thing. We don't know how changes would have happened there in the last 10, 15 years or 20 years. And we don't know what other pressures that animals have been going through, which push them into the human use areas. Yeah, so if we don't factor in all these things and just looking at very symptomatically, very superficially, and naming a particular individual is a problem animal is a very wrong thing to do, because that's not the way that one has to really deal with the conflict issue. It requires a very, very different mindset. The moment you start labeling an individual as a problem, you're already past a judgment saying that, oh, this is the individual, which is a problematic individual thing. But have you ever tracked that particular individual? Have you ever studied that particular individual for a longer period of time to say that it's always involved in killing a person or causing injury to a person, even though it's a very intentionally? And that's not the case in most cases. Please let us not look at elephants as problem elephants thing. Let us see that whether there is any problem in the locations before we even decide about the problem elephant.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anand sir, for those powerful lines. It's really inspiring for all of us to take the necessity best steps from now onwards, at least. So I have one more last question for the panel. So what is the legal backup behind elephant capture?
I think sir, sir can, the Wildlife Protection Act, there is a section. Sir can add up, sir.
No, I think Section 11 indicates that any wild animal that poses threat to lives and livelihoods of people, they can be captured. So that is the section which indicates that, and it gives power to Chief Wildlife Warden to take a decision on this.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for that. So I think that's it for the Q&A session for now. So guys, if you have more questions, please feel free to write it to us, and our experts will get back to you at the earliest possible. It's been a really complete knowledge filled, a complete insightful session, getting to hear from a veterinary doctor who himself who has been in these kinds of operation, and getting to hear, and also Anand sir with this huge amount of experience putting those out for us. It's been really wonderful. Let us all remind ourselves that every step that we take today for the betterment is gonna just compound and make our future generation better. I mean, if we just take a small example of choosing a lifestyle, the cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, we all are growing at a very high, rapid pace in terms of technology, in terms of lifestyle and everything. But if you just, come back and look that, the decisions that we do now, from choosing the priorities, could be a clothing, or could be, the travel leaving, or it could be like, the carbon footprints that we leave wherever we travel. It's all indirectly, again, coming back to the whole system, that is, climate changes, and then these animals have to come out. So let us all remind ourselves that, we still can change, we still have chance, and we have seen a lot of positive stories as well. So with that, I would love to sign off this wonderful session. This is Siddharth Shetty signing off. Thank you so much once again, and I really hope we have more events like these, and a lot of people joining this, and we can make this in a bigger, massive scale. Thank you once again. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you, everybody. I'll be closing the session. Thank you.